Wrestling fans, strap in. This week's episode is straight up chaos. A major lawsuit against AEW, a cryptic warning from The Rock, and WWE 2K25 just changed the game.
Ryan Nemeth is taking AEW, Tony Khan and CM Punk to court. He's claiming assault, intimidation, and a full-on history blackballing. What's the truth behind the insane lawsuit?
The Rock just told Cody Rhodes he wants his soul. What does that even mean, though? Is the final boss going full heel? A faction leader? We're breaking down every insane possibility.
And WWE Raw was wild! Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens is unsanctioned. Gunter and Jey Uso nearly tore the arena down, and the New Day just turned into straight-up villains?
Plus, I'm breaking down the top 3 stable entrance themes of all time, and Matt is pre-booking the return of Aleister Black. Get ready for some dark and dangerous fantasy booking.
For over 350 episodes, this is The Burning Truth. Hit that subscribe button because we are just getting started.
Hey, it's Scott Barrett and welcome back to The Burning Truth. And as always, I'm joined by the man who often tries a cheeky roll-up on me before we click record. It's Matt Burns, everybody.
Yeah, but if you notice, it's me, Beard, who's actually doing the counting.
It's just you who loves cheeky roll-ups, Matt Burns.
Someone has to. Somebody has to.
Used to get in trouble with my mum and dad many years ago for having cheeky roll-ups as well. Hey, full of these jokes, mate. I am full of them.
Love it. Absolutely love it. It's been an interesting week. A bit of relaxing, a bit of getting ready for certain things, building myself up.
Huge weekend last weekend for you, yeah?
Oh yeah, absolutely huge. I was at UKWA, the finest hour, the reboot, and
that's Crew, right?
Yep, that was at Crew, Coppenall Working Men's Club, and to say stacked house. I believe it was 173 people come through the doors.
Fantastic. Great showing.
Oh yeah, although I felt the aftermath of my match. From
okay.
Yeah.
A bit sore, mate, bit sore.
A bit sore. How about having your own, your shoulder collide with the actual corner post uncovered?
Oh.
Followed by a Nigel McGuinness divorce course face first into the canvas.
Yeah, there's no need for that, is there? There's absolutely no need.
Yeah, pretty much.
Any shocks or huge results on the show we need to know about?
Unfortunately, we had some big shocks because there was originally a scheduled tag team championship match, which had to be put on hold due to unfortunate circumstances. Cause
there were some weather issues and travel issues, wasn't there?
I was about to get to that for the main event. That was on the main event. This is for the first half main that got affected, but a brand new tag team debuted instead. Carnival Chaos making a name for themselves.
Oh yeah.
So it was a great show, and shockingly, there was a bit of an upset win. An upset win because we had Woody, who was the mid-tier, the British Isles champion, tagging with with Johnny, the Arcade Assassin, Johnny GG, and they lost to the debuting Carnival of Chaos in their debut match.
Fantastic. Looks like there's got some new guys who had some fire about them then, taking the opportunity that they were given.
However, unfortunately, the chance that they did have may not have been through themselves, because somebody had a certain briefcase and teased a certain cash in on Woody's British Isles during the match.
Ah, okay.
So
my sources are telling me that UKWA tag scene is about to explode.
Definitely. It's on the rise. Who knows that there could be a bit of a star quality tag team that could be dropping hammers.
Who knows? What I do know is that you can catch all that info at UKWrestlingAlliance.com.
Definitely. But as you stated beforehand, you mentioned about the main event. Now, there were some unfortunate circumstances where the champion couldn't make it to the show. Now, some people said he's running scared. He didn't want to go into the I Quit match against Basham because he would have lost his, could have lost his career. But Basham, on the other hand, could have lost his career at the same time. Who knows? But instead, what ended up happening is we ended up having I believe, a battle royal originally to crown a potential new champion. However, when it got to the final two, it was then decreed a match should be taking place, which ended up being an I Quit match between Luke Basham and Stephen Keane, who ironically is the Golden Gift holder. So he got given a, UKWA championship match without having
despite having one guaranteed.
Despite having one guaranteed, and earlier on the show, he actually won a number one contenders for the British Isles as well.
Oh wow! So could be in a position where, over the next few events for UKWA, this guy's holding all the gold. It's
a possibility. He seems to be. He seems to be asking people to acknowledge him, and the scary thing about it is, people may have to acknowledge him. They may have to.
Yeah, so all the details of that on UKWrestlingAlliance.com. You can also get a lot of the previous events on the video on demand service, and there is a code which is UKWA launch, and that's for your first month for £1 for all previous events that are currently on the site. So that's a really good deal that we've got an exclusive for here on The Burning Truth. So you can have that on me. What else we're going to talk about today, Matt Burns?
Well, before seeing as you've just asked about myself, there is something more. There is something I want to get asked. It needs to get asked. It has to get asked. And the question is, Scott, how are you?
Oh, thanks, mate. I'm good, I've had a really good week. Half term where I am, so I've had the kids off. So I've been able to spend some time with the family. Loads and loads going on. Wrestling is really exciting at the minute. We had no surprises. We had The Rock back on SmackDown this week. NXT. We had their PLE last weekend. Then we had the show this Wednesday night, which was fabulous. You can catch all the NXT reviews on the YouTube and on our second sort of sister podcast that launched this week, Matt Burns, The Burning Truth, the big NXT review. So if you're listening to this on your podcast app, you can go and have a listen to it there as well.
Yeah.
I do believe there's a pause on Apple currently. We're having some issues, but it will soon be on Apple as well.
There is a pause on it, but I will crack the code, I will unlock the gates, and I will get it working.
So currently available on Amazon Music, Spotify, Spreaker, and all your other podcast apps, except for Apple Podcasts. It will be following there very, very shortly. We're going to get that sorted and get it on there. But yeah, really exciting news for that. What else have I been doing, Matt Burns? Well, I've been prepping for United Wrestling, who have got a show, an event this Friday night, Abbey Alton Sports and Social Club. So that's Friday the 28th at Abbey Alton Sports and Social. Some matches already been announced. You can find all that on the Facebook. Just search United Wrestling Live. There's some familiar faces on there, I think people will say.
I did notice that.
But the main thing is United Wrestling champion Xander Zulu will be in action, and there's loads and loads going on around the product. They've got their own briefcase Christmas wish available for cash in for a championship match if you like. We've also got Dave Dalvecchio, who will no doubt want a rematch for his championship. So loads and loads going on currently for United Wrestling too. So if you're in the Stoke-on-Trent area on Friday, definitely worth getting yourself down to Abbey Alton Sports and Social for that. Again, the link for that one is either StokeOnTrentWrestling.com or search Facebook for United Wrestling Live.
Yeah, definitely. And if I'm not mistaken, that is an event that could very well be a bit of a turning point, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey, that's exactly right, Matt Burns. Could be a turning point. What else have we got going on? Well, we also did, last week's episode of the podcast was a bit different, fair to say, Matt Burns.
Yeah, it was.
Because we had an interview that we did live on YouTube with deathmatch specialist Alton Thorne. What did you call him? The
King Freak.
the King, Freak, Alton Thorne. And that was a really, really interesting podcast. So not, what we do like to do is branch out, do different things. We brought the interviews back, which I really enjoyed. I've never done anything like that before. And getting Alton Thorne on here and talking to his experience in the UK wrestling scene, and then the deathmatch scene specifically, was really, really interesting. It wasn't what I expected at all.
Yeah, I get what you mean there, definitely, and it caught me by surprise. And the good thing about it is, because the way it was done, yes, it's a style that we don't normally promote or advertise, or we don't do ourselves, but the thing is, wrestling isn't just for one individual or one type of fan. It caters to many different fans, and there are many different tastes, and the Burning Truth is here to showcase them all.
Yeah, and I think Alton Thorne hit the nail on the head, actually. He said it's almost a subgenre of wrestling. It's a niche of a niche.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting, a really interesting take on it. So if that's your thing, absolutely go and support those guys. Or go back and listen to the episode. He talked about, some of his idols, how he got into the scene, what he's got going on right now, what the future looks like for him. And I think the future's very bright for Alton Thorne. He's a great talent, and we both know him personally. So,
100% agree. Just
couldn't happen to a nicer guy, I don't think.
Yeah, 100%. Just one recommendation. Just don't ask about the clip.
Yeah. Right, Brill. I think with that being said, Matt Burns, we've plugged all the stuff we wanted to plug, and I think it's time we got on to
the news.
So just sit tight, don't blow a fuse, because now it's time for this week's news.
This just in, it's now time for the news!
Yeah, the news. So let's talk about this week's news, Matt Burns.
Well, first off, let's just hit it off with Ryan Nemeth suing AEW, Tony Khan and CM Punk. Now, as we've probably mentioned on the pre-intro, which you might have already noticed, Ryan Nemeth filed a lawsuit against AEW, Tony Khan and CM Punk, alleging Punk assaulted and intimidated him. He claims AEW ignored the issue due to Punk's star power, and that he was blackballed from the industry after a locker room confrontation. Now, to some, that could sound like, that sounds like Punk and everything, but is it really just all on Punk? Or could this be just another excuse of a talent not making it big and using it as an excuse?
I think he's named Punk in the lawsuit because it'll give the lawsuit a little bit more notoriety, and it gives it a bit more publicity. That's what I think. And, the USA does have this culture of litigation.
Yeah.
Everyone sues everyone for everything, is my assumption based on some of the reports we get. I think this is just sour grapes against Tony and AEW, and Punk's just been named in it.
Yeah, sort of like as if he's the star power sort of thing. I'm leaning towards that myself, but at the same time, nobody's innocent. Nobody's innocent. But the thing is, innocent till proven guilty.
I think the money Tony Khan's got, I think this will just get settled out of court, and we'll never hear about it again.
I don't think we will see it settled out of court. I can just see Ryan continuing on, and then eventually Tony Khan just go, right, because you keep sitting there saying this and everything, you're writing this out, I am suing you for slander and libel, and all of a sudden Ryan will just go, zip!
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
That's what I'm expecting. He'll zigzag straight out of there.
Any more news? Any more fabulous news?
Well, for some fabulous news, we've got, where Carmella's WWE contract expiring. Carmella, WWE contract has expired after being with the company since 2013. She has been absent since March 2023 due to pregnancy.
That's nearly 2 years now.
I know, due to pregnancy and a medical condition, ending a career that included multiple championship wins. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't she also the first woman in the bank?
Maybe. It's a shame, really, because she suffered from drop foot which is a condition that Scott Steiner got towards the end of his career. Certainly when he was in WWE, it hindered him massively. But it's a condition where you can't sort of tilt your ankle to tilt your foot up. So you start doing things like, in everyday life, it get to the point where you'd start like missing stairs and stuff. Like when you clip the stair on your way up.
Oh,
if you're walking up the stairs, because you can't lift your toes over the the next step. So that's where it's that's like the sort of injury it is. So it's like quite debilitating if you've got it badly. But it's a shame for Carmella because I really liked her as a character in her work. I do think we missed a trick with Carmella.
Go on.
When we brought her up to the main roster and we didn't bring her up like at the same time as Enzo and Cass.
Oh, 100%.
Because that trio was never as good as the duo was never as good as the trio. Although it was good on the main roster, it was never as good.
But do you know what I find so funny about the entire situation? If you actually look back at Carmella's career when she first broke into WWE, she was just a hairdresser.
Yes, she was.
She was just a hairdresser, and then she became, fabulous.
Fabolous.
Exactly. And the accolades that she ended up with is, and bear this in mind that when she was in NXT, everyone didn't like her. And then she made a household name out of herself. So fair play to her. From, that many thought that she was the third wheel of that group. She's made herself a defining career out of that situation. But I 100% agree with you that they did miss a beat, miss a step. But the only question is if she was still with them, would she still have the same level right now? Who knows? That could even be a potential what if.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose the real question is, if she'd hadn't had this injury and she'd returned to WWE, would she have ended up on the Mount Rushmore of women's wrestlers?
Another potential of a what if.
And as we talk about Mount Rushmores, it leads me really nicely onto the next piece of news, which is this week Mick Foley revealed his wrestling Mount Rushmore. And the reason I bring it into the news is just as a bit of a question for our listeners, whether they agree with Mick Foley's picks, but also what their picks would be for the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. Now, Mick Foley, in conversation with or at Monopoly events, he named his to be Terry Funk, Shawn Michaels, the Dynamite Kid Tom Billington, most famously known as one half of the British Bulldogs tag team with David Boy Smith, also really well known on the British circuit and through his run in Japan. And Bruiser Brody was his fourth pick. So
what?
Yeah, so Terry Funk, Shawn Michaels, the Dynamite Kid, and Bruiser Brody. He highlighted Terry Funk's influence and versatility. Michaels, his exceptional ring work. Dynamite Kid, that because he was really pioneering that high flying style, and then Bruiser Brody's impact as a brawler. So, what's actually really noticeable about that though is that Mick Foley wrestled all these during his career except Bruiser Brody.
Yeah, and there's one name I'm surprised that isn't in there because he was actually synonymous for most of his history.
Go on.
For some of his iconic moments. Undertaker.
Yeah. Undertaker's not on there. He hasn't put any of his, real peers on there, has he, except Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, I think
people who wrestled the same time as him. Only Shawn Michaels on that list, which just shows the level of respect he must have for Shawn.
The thing is, it might not be. It's not a dig or disrespect to Taker at all. It's the fact that he's probably paying homage to who he thought were his greats at the time, or certain individuals who he sought after. But because bear in mind that, if I'm not mistaken, Bruiser Brody was one of the individuals who was teaching a very green Undertaker in the past.
Yeah. And what I've done with this, Matt Burns, is I've put this in my diary as something we're going to come back to in the future, maybe as a YouTube special, maybe as a podcast episode, for us to talk about what our wrestling Mount Rushmores are and why. I think that's a really interesting topic. And if we do that live on YouTube, we can get our audience to also give theirs at the same time. We can talk them through.
Oh, I like that.
We can maybe build a burning truth Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling, agreed by all parties, which I think would be really interesting.
Sounds good.
And speaking of Mount Rushmores, there isn't a Mount Rushmore really of wrestling games. But if there was, apparently, we could put 2K25 on it. So WWE 2K25 is set to elevate the wrestling gaming experience this year with several new features. Developers have announced enhanced gameplay mechanics, the introduction of an underground-style match. If you enjoyed Shane McMahon's Raw Underground, this is for you. And enhanced gameplay mechanics, and a revamped 2K Showcase mode. These additions aim to provide players with more immersive and dynamic wrestling simulation, reflecting the evolving nature of WWE programming. And not just that, but also, apparently, this year, WWE and 2K have lined up some exceptional DLC for later in the life of the game. So there's a lot of hype around DLC this time. A bit annoying, as gone are the days when you unlock characters by completing the game. Now you have to buy them, but that's just a personal gripe.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one. But at the same time, there is one aspect that I've actually seen advertised that sort of piqued my interest.
Yeah.
That we haven't mentioned yet, but it has been actually quite shouted out quite a bit.
Go on then.
The island mode.
Island mode, yeah, the island of relevancy, and I'm sure we might do some playing of this on the channel.
Oh no, this is definitely going to have to be on the channel, because not only do you have like your own mode on there, you can actually play with so many other players on the island and do battle against each other as well.
Oh, that's it then. We're going to the island, Matt Burns.
Exactly. We're going to the island!
I've been disappointed the last few years with. I want more out of not the showcase mode, but what's the mode with the cards? My faction.
My faction, yeah.
I'm always disappointed with that mode. I'm a big fan of EA FC or FIFA as it used to be known. I'm a real big fan of the Ultimate Team mode.
Yeah.
And I would love something more akin to that. My faction mode doesn't quite hit the same notes like that does, but
it's similar, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
I get what you mean, and I feel as though you're not really. I feel as though, and it should be, for me personally, it should be you building up your own sort of faction and getting your name out there, which it sort of is, but it's not doing it in the way like you do with. It's not as well known as FIFA, and I feel as though could that just be the way they've done it? It just feels when I've done it myself on the previous games, it just felt like it was just we've got this individual, this version.
Yeah, it's not a very enjoyable mode. It just I want it to be more, but we'll see when this one comes out, and we'll definitely play it on the channel, Matt Burns. Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
I don't know how we do that, but we'll figure it out.
I might already have a way.
Good stuff. Why don't we go to some ads and then we'll come back with a review of this week's WWE?
Sounds good.
Right then, Matt Burns, talk to us. What happened on Monday Night Raw this week?
You know what? That felt like a proper. I thought you were about to go. Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me.
Talk to me, Goose. What happened on Monday Night Raw?
Of course. Well, the major storylines developments for Monday Night Raw on Netflix is
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Love it. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens confirmed. Sami opened the show still selling the damage from KO's attack 2 weeks ago, despite not being medically cleared. He demanded a match at Elimination Chamber. Adam Pearce resisted, but after Zayn's passionate plea, he made it. I loved how they did this, because they actually brought up their ROH history without mentioning ROH.
Yeah,
which was really, really good. And I thought the way it was announced by Adam Pearce, ladies and gentlemen, this is not official. This is unsanctioned.
Yeah, nice.
So we've now got Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in a unsanctioned match in Toronto. Get ready for a fight. Moving on to continue the storyline of Gunther and Jey Uso. Continuing their feud, the World Heavyweight Champion mocked Jey Uso's entrance at WrestleMania, saying he was out of his league. And what was so interesting is, before the next bit happened, as Gunther was literally coming down, what I thought was a nice little caveat was when he targeted the commentators.
Yeah.
Literally saying, you pair should be unbiased. And you can see he was literally going on at Pat McAfee, and I thought he was going to actually powerbomb Pat. Genuinely. But Jay come out making, pretty much making the save, leading to a chaotic brawl that WWE officials had to break up. Then New Day's mean streak continued with Kofi and Xavier Woods doubling down on their attack on Rey Mysterio, claiming they were the real locker room leaders, with the LWA interrupting, the rest of the LWO, minus Mysterio, setting up an inevitable clash. But the only thing I will say is, if you haven't got Mysterio there, can you name all the LWO members?
Okay, let's do this seriously. Their names are Primo and Epico. No, I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. There's the tag team that used to be Legado Fantasma and Dragon Lee.
That's what I'm saying. You can't even remember their single individual names, so it's a bit worrying a little bit.
Yeah.
But they got the beat down on Kofi and Xavier, which I find a bit worrying, me personally, because I think Xavier and Kofi should be getting a bit more come up, not come up right now. It should be a bit more ruthless on others. But
WWE seem desperate to replace Rey Mysterio at the minute for me. So we've got Penta, we've got Rey Fenix, who's been injured and now he's back. Great. All baby faces.
Yeah.
We have got, to be fair to him, Dominic, who's a heel, but he's not a traditional luchador.
No, he's not. But the thing is, he's still phenomenal.
But I'm in a place where I just think we need a heel lucha for some of these guys to work against. Otherwise, it feels like we are we're not getting the best of their style. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%, and that's why I think Chad Gable's going to come into play.
Do you?
He's going to learn the style.
Put a mask on. El Gabelo.
I love it!
Yeah, the New Day thing, though, I suppose it speaks volumes that I went straight to talking about the LWO rather than the New Day. I'm a bit indifferent to this so far. I'm not sure how you're feeling about it.
No. Spot on. You just hit the nail on the head, and that's the point what I was trying to make. But anyway, let's move on to these standout matches with AJ Styles defeating Dominic Mysterio. Because if you remember, I did say that Dominic Mysterio has been phenomenal, but just not phenomenal enough to beat AJ Styles. Styles is back, picked up a much-needed win, and what was interesting, he won with the Styles Clash, but I will say, the post-match, Bron Breakker accidentally spearing Dominic, teasing an eventual Styles Breakker into Continental title feud, and I will say this to you, though, when Bron Breakker threw that t-shirt in at AJ Styles being such a chad at catching that shirt, without even looking, one-handed,
AJ Styles is legit a cool guy.
Literally. Phenomenal catch. Unlocked. Done. Then we had Dakota Kai defeating Ivy Nile in a solid number one contenders match for the women's IC title, or championship, with Kai sneaking out the win. Now, I've got a few things to discuss about this match. I was surprised that they went down the Dakota Kai route, because Dakota Kai seems to be more of a fan favourite at the moment, so face versus face. I thought Ivy Nile might have gotten the win, but I think, but at the same time, I'm not sure if that was the original plan. Especially with the fact that we had a referee doing a head check and checking if someone was still awake or conscious.
Yeah.
Because of a bit of a bash on the head, if I'm not mistaken. Drop on the head moment.
Yeah, talk to us about it then. Who was it? What happened?
It was sort of Dakota Kai got Ivy Nile between the ropes, and sort of it looked like the hot shot that sort of MJF does on AEW, and like the hot shot pile driver, and it sort of looked a bit more like Ivy Nile's head at the canvas, but it might have been close. But if you're the referee, listen, no actual disrespect to the referee in regards to checking. I heard some fans sitting there saying, well, why is she holding her hand? Why is she helping her up? Well, not being funny, she's just been dropped on her head. She's actually checking if she's actually conscious. Yeah. Or does the match need to end immediately?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think probably this is a victim of changing producers. So in Vince McMahon days, when he had help me out. In Vince McMahon days, when they had the done on production, that's what I was looking for.
Done with his buck teeth.
Yeah, Dunn was the name I was looking for. When they had Dunn on production, he'd have covered that, and they'd have clipped to somewhere else. We'd have had the crowd or something for a couple of seconds, or we'd have had a different camera angle. But I think that's just a different way of shooting. I think experience maybe as well. We'd have had that covered in a previous life, but it's just, I think the camera angle didn't help at all.
It didn't help, but at the same time, for me personally, I don't think it's actually necessarily a bad thing to actually show that the referee is actually checking on doing health and safety checks. It actually shows that they care. Whereas just going off seems a little bit like they don't care.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like you're trying to hide something. So I don't really think the camera angle was an issue. But anyway, moving on. Roxanne Perez defeating Raquel Rodriguez. Now, some was just there saying, "Oh, this is an absolute upset win." No, I actually predicted this. My only issue about
no, not saying you got a big head, mate, but you did predict this.
Yeah. The reason why I predicted it, it's the only one that made sense because of Bayley being in and that she was having a bit of a storyline. And
Agreed.
That's where I just thought it would fit in quite nicely. I'm probably not the only one who predicted it. You probably predicted it. The writing was on the wall. The only thing I had an issue with, it's not that it was predictable. It was the fact that they're heavily massively protecting Raquel Rodriguez. Couldn't they have just given Roxanne Perez the win? You know, do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Would have made it look strong instead of it being, no, we're just going to bring in Bianca Belair and Naomi and sort of link it to that storyline. It's
Had that been any other woman that wasn't, had that been Shayna Baszler, Zoe Starks, she would have won it clean. But because it was Raquel Rodriguez, that is why. That it's got to be. You know, she's massive, powerful. We can't have her lose clean to Roxanne Perez, who's tiny. I think that's what it'll come down to.
I know that. I believe Big Bill said it previously in WWE to Seth. Size does matter. It doesn't always. But anyway. That aside, I still think it's okay to get a cheap win, but it was a heel versus heel match. It was going to be a tough one either way. So I just didn't understand why they did a heel versus heel, but go figure. And then what I thought was great was the main event of Raw.
Yeah.
Which was Seth Rollins defeating Finn Balor for the men's qualifier, men's chamber qualifier. Fantastic main event with Finn Balor coming close, but Rollins sealing the win with the stomp. And it was a clean win. Now, what was really interesting about this, all through the night, Finn had been saying, when you listen to Finn,
you win.
And bear this in mind, name me on Raw, did they have a good night listening to Finn? No.
Yeah, when you listen to Finn, you might not win.
Yeah, and I feel as though there's some tension brewing. And, could even be a bit of a nice little plug for a segment later. But no, I'm not going to spoil it now. But anyway, more on that later. But that for me was a good solid Raw. I'm just trying to think of a rating personally in regards to it out of bangers.
Okay, yeah.
For me, I feel as though it had all the escapade to become a really good episode of it. I feel as though they've got a lot of repeated matches, certain misbeats. Me personally, I feel as though this was 3 out of 5 bangers. For me personally.
3 out of 5 for Raw. Yeah, I'd have maybe gone 2. It was okay. It was a steady episode of Raw. Listen, we've got one more and then we're at the Elimination Chamber. And I think it was almost feels like an episode of Raw that we needed to get through.
Yeah.
Which is probably the best way to describe it. Do you know what's a really interesting fact?
Go on.
As we move on to SmackDown?
Go on.
John Cena's farewell tour year 2025.
Yes.
So far this year, The Rock has appeared on more episodes than John Cena.
And there we have it, folks. That is today's number one. This is Scott's statistics for the week.
Yeah, there's the Scott statistic. Right, let's move on to SmackDown then. So, SmackDown this week, Friday Night SmackDown, New Orleans, Los Angeles. Why New Orleans and why was that important this week, Matt Burns? Well, it's because we had wind about 12 hours before the show that the final boss himself, The Rock, was going to be on the show. And he made his long-awaited return, officially announced that WrestleMania 42 will take place in New Orleans on the 11th and 12th of April 2026. So next year, New Orleans is WrestleMania, and that's really interesting. New Orleans hosted WrestleMania 30, the Yeselmania, with Daniel Bryan winning the championships at the end of the night. I think they also hosted 35. That sounds right. Might have been 35. Do you know what? I'm going to check it quick. Matt Burns.
You know, come on, we have the power of the internet. Let's use it.
Yeah, let's use it. WrestleMania 35? No, that was New Jersey. 34 then, maybe? Was it 34? 34. WrestleMania 34, which was 2018, was the last time it hosted. And I'm unsure on the main event for that, actually, thinking about it.
For which WrestleMania?
34.
34.
I know it was Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Oh, it was the one where Undertaker defeated John Cena in about 3 minutes. And it was Brock versus Roman.
Yeah.
Where I think Brock beat Roman Reigns, didn't he, and retained the title.
Oh, that was the one where he threw the title at Vince.
Yeah, and AJ Styles retained against Shinsuke. Shinsuke had won the Rumble that year.
Oh no, I know which one this one is. This was the where the he keeps hitting me where it hurts.
Yeah,
to keep
Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. So it was like a full year before Ronda Rousey came into it properly.
Ah.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. So WrestleMania next year in New Orleans. Bit disappointed it isn't London, as I was always going to be. But happy that it's not going to be, because 2026 is also the Rumble in Saudi. So interesting venues so far for the road to WrestleMania. But New Orleans is a steady venue. Had some good WrestleManias there, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't all that The Rock was there for. So The Rock was also there to call out Cody Rhodes. Do you know what? Fair play to him. Praised his title reign, but he offered him something strange. He wants Cody to be his champion, saying he could open doors that Cody never imagined. Cody and The Rock said he didn't want Cody's title, which was the really interesting bit. He said he wanted his soul. So The Rock wants Cody's soul. So I think for me, what does that even mean? Is The Rock trying to turn Cody heel? Is The Rock going to lead a new faction with Cody Rhodes at the helm? Will we get the answer at Elimination Chamber in Toronto next week? Because, Matt Burns, The Rock's going to be there and Cody's going to be there and we're going to have it out at the Chamber.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. And the thing is, think about it. The Rock became the people's champ. He became the corporate champ. And now we're leading into The Rock's champion. It's almost adding that little extra... The Rock's adding that little extra tier on his shelf of his history. I just feel as though he's pulling a bit of his history there.
It's very, very interesting. And there's loads of questions going into it, so I'm sure we'll get into it next week, and we'll certainly get into it, after the Elimination Chamber when we find out a little bit more. But right now I'm enjoying sort of not knowing and the anticipation. It's really important for the story, so I'm really happy about it. What else happened on SmackDown? Jimmy Uso defeated Drew McIntyre with the most dangerous and devastating move in all of WWE, Matt Burns. Any guesses?
A shovel?
Not quite. It was the surprise roll-up win. Drew was furious post-match and attacked Jimmy Uso. We also had LA Knight and R-Truth defeat The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. Fun match, but Shinsuke ambushed LA Knight, which cost the team the win in the end. R-Truth, man. How is he still doing it? Debuted in 2000? for WWF.
And I feel as though he looks younger now.
Madness. And you know what? Let's not sleep on our truth. Former NWA World Champion.
100%. Please keep your eye on him because absolute stellar talent. And I will say, do you know what I thought was so funny about it? About the entire, how he was saying, they got the match, Mella don't miss. And he's announcing his tag team partner as like a local legend, local talent. And it's somebody who isn't local.
Yeah. Louisiana Night.
Louisiana Night. When he said, when he went, Louisiana, I just crumbled with laughter.
Ridiculous. What else did we have? We had Tiffany Stratton defeat Candice LeRae. Stratton gets the win, but post-match, Nia Jax, don't sleep on Nia Jax. We were right, 8 weeks ago when we started talking about, longer than that, 12 weeks ago we started talking about how good Nia Jax was, and it's continuing. Nia Jax and Candice took her out, her being Tiffany Stratton, pronouns pal, and Trish Stratus came out to make the save, but then she was taken out as well by Nia Jax, and a double Annihilator. It's not called the Annihilator, is it? It's called the Bonsai Drop.
No, you actually got her version.
Did I do it right?
Yeah, you got it right.
Double Annihilator to Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus, which builds to their tag match that's been announced for the Elimination Chamber. Trish and Tiffy versus Candice and Nia Jax. Loving life. Bring it on. Here's my money. It's the tag match I didn't know I needed. I didn't know I wanted. But right now it's the match I'm most looking forward to. And we've got 2 Elimination Chamber matches.
Yeah, exactly. Because think about it. We've got Tiffy time, but we've also got Trishy time.
Trishy time. More importantly, we've got Nia Jax.
Yeah, 100%. One thing I did notice, though, when you mentioned about Nia Jax, is the fact that we've been covering her for a while now, but I've also noticed that, many other places now suddenly seem to be seeping in. Have they been listening to us?
Yeah, maybe. Listen, Simon Miller on the What Culture released a video Sunday, as we're speaking, Sunday the 23rd, about why Nia Jax is phenomenal TV currently, and we did this piece like weeks and weeks and weeks ago.
Yeah.
You can check out the blog on the website, theburningtruthuk.com, and that's on there. But we've been talking about it for weeks. We know how good Nia Jax is. What else was on the card? DIY versus Pretty Deadly for the tag team titles. A DQ finish here when the Street Profits attacked both teams, which set up a possible multi-team title match going forward.
Four-way?
Maybe. I think this might be the multi-man ladder match for WrestleMania. That's what I'm hoping. This might be the big multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania. You
mean the one that you predicted just for the wrong title?
Did I? What title did I say?
You said it was possibly for one of the main titles.
Yeah, I did actually, didn't I? Yeah,
I am going to say this. If it happens, it still counts.
Yeah. Tag titles are main titles, damn it. But yeah, so really excited about that. And then Damian Priest and Braun Strowman defeated Jacob Fatu and Solo. Interesting one, this is. The previous, formerly known as the Bloodline, FKA Bloodline, miscommunication continued. Fatu accidentally superkicked Solo, which led to Priest winning the match. More tension brewing in the family. And we're looking forward to potentially a confrontation between Jacob and Solo, and I'm here for it. I didn't know. I knew Jacob Fatu was good. From the moment he debuted, I knew he was good. I did not know he was going to be gold.
I knew he was.
And what we've done is we've introduced a main eventer that we probably expected to be an upper mid-carder. I think Jacob Fatu's a talent that they expected to be an upper mid-carder and is a main event talent already established.
I'll tell you this now. I saw from his independent days, his MLW days on the scene. Me personally, I just went, they're bringing him in. He's going to steal the spotlight.
Yeah, I can't believe how many times we've seen him on. If you're following us on the YouTube, Burning Truth 251, we've been watching funny videos of amazing moment, oh my god moments, haven't we, Matt Burns?
I believe the actual YouTube channel you're on about is BDWJ Forever.
So we've been watching those on our YouTube channel and giving our reactions, and I can't believe the amount of times we've seen
Jacob Fatu on it.
Jacob Fatu on there. Yeah, it's been absolutely phenomenal. So,
but it's a showcase of how much of an absolute stellar talent he is on the videos that we're watching, because we're not watching fails, we're watching epicness.
Absolutely, 1000%. So just a quick recap of what we've got coming up for the Elimination Chamber, and then we'll move on from this segment. But we've got Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens unsanctioned.
Yes.
We've got Tiffy and Trish versus Nia and Candice from the SmackDown side.
Yes.
We've got the Women's Elimination Chamber match, which is Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Bianca Belair, so both the Women's Tag Champions, Bayley and Roxanne Perez for who will get a shot against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania.
Yes.
We've also got the men's chamber match, which is now Damian Priest, Logan Paul, Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, and John Cena.
Yes.
And my prediction right now is John Cena enters 6th, because the anticipation is going to be off the charts.
Oh yeah.
And also, I think when that happens, CM Punk will be the only one standing in the ring. So not that everybody else will be eliminated, but that Punk will be the one in the ring waiting for him.
Yeah.
So it goes nuts for. And then lastly, we've got now The Rock and Cody Rhodes confrontation booked. So we've got an amazing card shaping up. I'm really interested to see how that goes next week. And, we'll do predictions on YouTube this week, so subscribe for that.
Wait. You missed something off there.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. Maybe because it's unsanctioned, you missed it off.
Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, I did that first.
Oh, did you? Sure?
I definitely did.
That's right.
But yeah, so we'll do predictions this week on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, Burning Truth 251.
Yeah.
And we'll also do a review following the show that'll maybe be part of this podcast, or maybe its own video. But just stay subscribed to the podcast and to YouTube for that if you want the content, which I think will be brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, Matt Burns, what feels like forever ago, we started a poll on the website, and what I want to know is it finally time for Buried Alive?
Shall we just break the results right now?
It's time for Buried Alive. Do you love NXT?
Yeah.
Do you hate that we don't talk about it on the podcast?
Hell yeah, what's up with that?
Well, you can catch all the NXT action live on our YouTube streams every week if you subscribe at the Burning Truth 251 on YouTube and listen to me, Scott, and I'm talking all things NXT every week on a Wednesday. See you there.
Buried alive, always say goodbye. Things we can't stand not today. Locked and gone in the ground, never to make another sound. It's buried alive.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today for Buried Alive.
Buried Alive.
And in case you don't know what Buried Alive is, it is the Burning Truth, equivalent to Room 101, where...
Yeah, so basically we take something from the world of wrestling, be it a storyline, a character, something we don't like, a move, and we decide whether we should bury it alive for all time, never to see the light of day again.
Right. Now, this is going to be a bit of a quick one, because normally we'd have a topic to discuss. We don't need to discuss this week's topic, because this is something that was only originally meant to be happening for 1 week. But it hasn't been 1 week, has it?
No.
It feels like, I feel like another song, it's been... You know exactly what I'm referring to there, don't you?
Yeah, so we had a poll up on the website, is basically what happened, Matt Burns, following you and me having a bit of a stalemate on the podcast.
Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, I was the one who was brave enough to throw it out to the fans.
Yeah.
And I feel as though, well, in case you want to know what the topic is, should the roll-up finish be buried alive?
Yes, it should. Let's do it.
And you say it does, I say it doesn't, but the results are in, and are you ready? Drum roll, please. Ladies and gentlemen, by the winner of the poll by one vote, pass me the shovel.
We're burying it. Bury it alive.
Pass me the shovel.
It's made me very happy, that, Matt Burns.
There you go. Are you happy now?
I'm so happy because we had it again this week, didn't we, with Jimmy and Drew? It's such a lazy finish.
I will say, fair play. You know, one vote. One vote.
One vote.
Hey, it goes to show every vote counts. So, if we do throw out votes, polls up there, make sure you vote. Put your you put your vote in, because the votes do get added up. They do matter, and in this case, the roll-up finish has officially been buried alive.
Buried alive.
And now, let's move on to the top three.
Do the top three. Hello, friends. Are you enjoying the Burning Truth Live so far? Well, I hope you are, because we're working bloody hard to make it as good as we can. But what we need is your help. And we need your help by subscribing and leaving us a 5-star review. You do not know how much it will help the podcast if you can do that for us. It'll help us spread the word, help us grow the community, and more than anything, it'll help us keep providing amazing wrestling content like we are right now. Thank you so much for listening. Let's get back to the show. But please, please, please rate and review and subscribe. Thanks, guys.
It's now time for the top three. The top three. The top three. And in case you wonder what this is where both myself and Scott say to each other, what's your top three on a certain topic in wrestling? And we always challenge each other, don't we? We always come up with some interesting subjects to top three.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for this week, Scott, I want your top three stable and tag team entrance musics. And when I say tag team and stable entrance music, I don't mean the tag teams that come out to one individual musics. I mean uniquely tag team and stable musics.
Well, I'll tell you the truth, Matt Burns. What I have done is I've pulled together my top three favourite stable entrance musics.
Oh, I'll allow it.
Tag teams might be a different list, tell the truth. But I have done my top three stables. And I'll tell you my honourable mentions before we start.
Go on then.
My honourable mentions are the Bullet Club's Shot 'Em.
Ooh.
Great tune. The Undisputed Era's Undisputed, or Boom, as it's known sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no,
the NXT one.
The NXT one. The
Undisputed.
Shock the System.
The System. Correct. UKWA plug there. The Ministry of Darkness's Dark Side. They're three honourable mentions, but
before you go,
I've got here.
Wait. Before you go into it, can I mention one honourable mention? Because it's one that we mentioned before we came on.
Yeah, okay.
The Oddities.
The Oddities, yeah. Honourable mention for the Oddities. Also honourable mention for the Right Honourable Right to Censor. But the three I've picked for my top three, they defined eras. Are we ready?
Go on.
Number 3. Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield. I think I spelled that wrong then, intentionally. Special Op by Jim Johnson. Why?
Yeah.
The heavy riff made it really clear that destruction was coming. It fit the SWAT-style ambushes they were doing, the no-nonsense attitude. And walking through the crowd to this theme, it just gives me chills.
Yeah, I know I could turn around and say, Didn't this turn into single? No, I'm going to allow this because this was a faction entrance.
And it was the start. When it was Roman Reigns, it lost a bit of its spark because of that initial Sierra Hotel India Echo.
It wasn't there. Yeah, it wasn't there. It just doing it. It's not the same.
Absolutely mint tune. Which why for me it's number 3. Number 2, controversially, it's the Corporations theme. No Chance in Hell by Jim Johnson. Why? Well, cocky. That strutting guitar riff, and it told you the bosses are in control. And it was the Corporation's entrance music before it was Vince McMahon's. Vince McMahon just happened to be the leader.
Actually, there's a matter factor coming up right now.
Yeah.
It was something else before it became an actual faction.
It was. We've covered this on a watch-along, Matt Baines. Go on, put everybody out of the misery.
What it was actually the theme song for a certain Royal Rumble event.
Royal Rumble 99, No Chance in Hell, absolutely.
Yes, but I am going to allow it.
Well, it was the faction's entrance music.
Yeah.
And it thrived on the theme that the faction did. So whether it was The Rock, the Big Boss Man, Shane O'Mac, you knew that corruption ruled the show. And even in today's words, the No Chance, it makes the fans immediately think of McMahon and that corporation and the dominance that they had. So that's my number 2. So number 3, The Shield. Number 2, the Corporation. So we've got the PG era, we've got the Attitude era, and now we're going to the Ruthless Aggression era for my number 1 stable theme tune. It's Line in the Sand by Motorhead for Evolution. Smooth yet menacing vibe made him feel untouchable and elite. Motorhead's vocal, because initially it didn't have the vocal, and when they added the vocal and the slow build it gave, it was like walking into a high stakes poker game, but where they own the table.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the actual video actually looked like that as well.
Yeah. And I always think back to when, because Randy Orton used this for a time. He used to come, when he was the Intercontinental Champion, he came out to this tune.
Yeah.
They all did as a stable, but he came out to this tune as well. And I always remember the gold sort of fireworks dripping behind him.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, that happened when they all came out as well. But I just always remember the visual of the dripping sort of firework waterfall behind him, the gold firework waterfall. So it was dominance, past, present, and future, and they lived up to it. You've got to think about how many titles between those 4. How many years active. Yeah, a legacy of dominance for me. And that's why Line in the Sand by Motorhead, Evolution, it was the perfect song for the perfect stable at the perfect time.
I like that.
And that's my top 3. The Shield, the Corporation, Evolution.
Love it. And would you like to know what my top 3 are?
I would love to know what your top 3 were.
My top 3, you'll have to find out on another episode of The Burning Truth. On a future episode of The Burning Truth.
Okay, I see what you're doing here, Matt Burns.
What? Can you blame me?
Oh, here's the pencil. It's time for Reboot This. No, it's not. It's time for Pre-Book This.
Who trusted these guys with the book? It's Reboot This. Larry Scott, it's Reboot This. Take a shot, it's Reboot This. Reboot This.
Okay, it's time for Pre-Book This. So this is where we get the pencil and the book, and it's for us to fantasy book something that's happened in the past or something that we want to happen in the future. And this is a future episode, so we're going to call this Pre-Book This as opposed to Rebook This. And just to give a little bit of a hint of the future before we get on to this, Matt Baines, we are going to start a new series on YouTube coming up called What If, where we're going to take an idea for a pre-book or a rebook. Or something that could have happened differently in wrestling, and we're going to both give our takes on what that could have looked like. So that's really exciting coming up. But going back to the pre-book for this episode, Matt Baines, I would like you to pre-book for us right now the return of Aleister Black to WWE?
My time has come. My time has come for this moment. I knew it was going to be inevitable. I feel like Thanos right now. You know, part of the what if.
Yeah.
Almost. You know, I'm like, it is inevitable. And clicking my fingers. Because right now, this is actually something I've had in my head for a bit. And there is only one area I think he would fit in. Yeah. And 9 out of 10 times, most people are going to be sitting there thinking it's with the Wyatt Six. It isn't. It isn't going to be with the Wyatt Six.
Okay. I'm even more interested now.
Because I actually gave a bit of a teaser early in this episode when I was talking about the Judgment Day. If you remember.
Okay.
When you listen to Finn, you always win.
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, who's been stepping up to Finn lately? And sort of saying, we need somebody new. We need something new. We need somebody new. Well, might be, he's on a bit of a losing streak right now. Everybody's losing in the Judgment Day. Things aren't looking great. Or, as Carlito would say, not cool, man. Not cool. So, for me personally, I feel as though we're going to get an episode of Raw where Judgment Day are absolutely getting fed up of Finn saying, when you listen to Finn, you win. And he's going to be sitting there saying, no, listen to me. I want us on the right path. We all should be a unit and everything. We need a strong leader. And we eventually get Dominic sit there and say to Finn, well, if you want to be a leader, you sit there saying there's no leaders, yet the only one who's been barking orders is you. So essentially you are assuming leadership. Well, since you've assumed the leadership, we haven't got anything done. With Finn quickly firing back at Dom, why do you think you can step up to the plate?
Yeah.
Immediately, so there, potentially, and he just goes, maybe. So we've got a bit of tension there. And he sat there and think, and Liv sort of just goes, you know what? We need to blow off some steam. Why don't you have a wrestling match just to blow off some steam?
Okay.
And as they sort of about to blow off, get the steam and everything, the rest of the match, and Finn is absolutely dominating Dominic. Dominic's getting beat up a lot. And, but aren't you thinking, who are the crowd going to cheer? Me personally, I feel as though the crowd are going to love that Dom's getting the beating.
Yeah.
And they are going to be loving that more. And it's going to be sitting there saying, I told you to listen to me. I told you. He goes up, hits the coup de grace, lights out. The lights go out. And everyone's sitting there thinking, what's going on? Lights come back in. And standing in the ring, staring at Finn Balor, is none other than Aleister Black.
Wow. I mean, shocking in the moment, right?
There and then. Now, you sit there and think, and most people are going to sit there thinking, oh, he's just going to strike him and everything. No. He gets in Alice's face and everything, and sits there saying, what are you doing here? What's this all about? Finn, you've taken your eye off somebody, haven't you? Dominic does the dreaded sneaky roll up and gets the 1, 2, 3, and literally gets out, sort of looking on, smirking, and you see Alice with a smirk at Dom and sit there saying, as if, it's like, what's going on here? And as he turns back to Aleister Black, fade to black. Roundhouse kick straight to Finn, and you just see Aleister Black walk out the ring, literally towards Dom, and Dom literally just go, you're in charge now. And and they walk up the ramp, leaving Finn absolutely destroyed in the ring. And that feud will be absolutely epic. However, I'm going to put a hold on it right there.
Oh, don't do that to us.
I'm going to have to put a hold on there. You know what? No. Nah. I'm going to be gentle. I'm going to be nice instead. I'm going to give a few more weeks. So, immediately, Finn's going to be sitting there thinking, is it, what's going on? He's going to be going to the back and everyone's just ignoring him.
Right.
And he's like, I'm part of this group. They're not even paying attention. They're not listening to Finn. Not even Carlito is listening to Finn. Nobody is listening to Finn. So immediately, everyone... He even eventually ends up locked out of the Judgment Day. What's going on here? Has he, And then eventually, it gets revealed in a promo by Dominic, who's listening to the saying, I've been saying to you week after week. I've been saying to you, we've been needing someone new. Well, you said we don't need somebody new. And I sort of agreed. We just need to replace somebody.
Oh.
And you've been replaced. You're not in the Judgment Day no more.
Well, I really like that.
What?
I really like that.
And Finn's coming out scathing. He's sort of just going, how can you kick me out of the Judgment Day? I was, how can you kick me out? How dare you? I was here before you, sort of, trying to sort of imply he was there before him. It's like, no, if I'm not mistaken, right, you came in at a certain point, yeah, you got rid of the previous leader. Well, what happened? You got rid of the previous one, so couldn't the same happen to you?
Oh.
Immediately, it's like, I think it's time that we take the current leader and take him out to the kennel and treat you like old Yalla.
Holy moly!
Yeah, Finn's not happy. He's scathing. He literally starts laying into Dominic. He's that angry for the light to fade out. Once again, back on, and you got Aleister Black. They're standing there, and Finn's ready. He's just there. He's waiting. He's like, come on. He's sitting there saying, I can take you. For Dominic to cheap shot from behind and everything. He's like, Dominic and and Carlito comes down and starts putting the stomping on Finn and everything. It's you've got Liv Morgan coming down laughing with Raquel Rodriguez. They're all laughing, and Aleister Black has just stood there, and eventually he just grabs the mic and just goes, "You think you can handle me? You can't even handle Dominic Mysterio. You can't handle any member of this group. You're not even worthy of carrying our bags."
Oh.
So they're proper outing him, and they're literally, he's just going, what happened to that former demon that was in you? What happened to it?
Demon.
What happened to that so-called demon Finn? Lost to time? If you want a real shot at this, I want to see the demon Finn.
Pulls him out there and then?
I want to see the demon Finn. Whether it be against somebody else, or even against me. Let's see how much of a demon you are compared to me.
Holy moly.
And that is actually where I'm going to end it. Right there.
When are you going to give us the rest of that, Matt Baines? Because I don't think I can wait.
Well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we could wait a fortnight and be really mean and make you wait 2 weeks. Or I've got a better idea. Why don't you actually go onto the website, theburningtruthuk.com?
Yeah.
Keep an eye out on the blog section, because there's going to be a new blog segment coming soon.
Oh, right, okay.
Continuation. Blow for blow, each moment, till the end.
That sounds awesome.
Till we have Aleister Black versus the Demon Finn Balor.
That sounds awesome. Let's do that. Yeah. Get it on the blog.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was Pre-Book This.
Pre-book this. Love it.
That's a wrap on another episode of The Burning Truth. From Ryan Nemeth taking AEW to court to The Rock's bizarre challenge to Cody Rhodes, plus WWE 2K25 shaking up wrestling gaming, this week has been absolute madness and we have loved every second of it.
Not to mention that brilliant pre-book of Aleister Black Matt Burns and top 3 stable entrance themes. Phenomenal. If you've enjoyed the show, hit that like button, drop us a review. Your support keeps the show running and brings wrestling fans together from all over the world, so thank you.
And we need your help to take our YouTube channel to the next level. Subscribe to The Burning Truth on YouTube, like the videos and share them whenever you talk wrestling. We are pushing for 1,000 subscribers, and with your help, we can get there. We can do this.
That's the aim for this year, isn't it? We really want to get to 1,000 subscribers. For everything else, just search The Burning Truth on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and more. We're also on X and Blue Sky under TBT Live UK, so don't forget all those. And you can also check us out on theburningtruthuk.com for breaking news, articles, blogs, event updates, and exclusive content.
And until next time, stay hyped, stay passionate, and remember DFTBA. And in case you don't know what it means don't forget to be awesome!
Excelsior!
Psst, it's Scott. Did you rate and review the podcast yet? Cheers.